Hello everybody, and welcome to another Train Sim World 2 news video. Today is obviously Friday, and DTG, as we all know now, have started this Train Sim World screenshots on a Friday. Today they're focusing on the cabs, which will be interesting to see. So we're gonna have a look through these photos, and we're gonna read the article, and we'll have a look. Train Sim World 2 cab screens. It's Screenshot Friday. The theme this week is cabs. Sit inside these epic feats of engineering. Take a look inside the cabs of the locomotives you're going to be driving in Train Sim World 2. Check out everything from the sleek and modern DBBR 406 ICM3M, pictured above, to the raw power of the GP38-2. And as you can see, we've got nice screens. I'll come back to the pictures in a sec once we finish the article. The SD40-2 is a versatile workhorse on CSX and one of the more unique operations you can undertake on Sandpatch Grade. One of the more unique operations you can undertake on Sandpatch Grade are a selection of helper services, coupled to the rear of a heavy train and assist it up the eastern slope before running back to Cumberland Yard for your next duties. Amidst the evening rush, 1972 stock units prepared to pass on a steep line connecting the above-ground DC lines with the deep-level tube tunnels. Familiarity with the route from the cab is paramount as safely and timely operations on the Bakerloo line, whether north or southbound. With dynamic brakes almost ready to kick in, the train led by AC 4400 CWs start the challenging descent down Sandpatch Eastern Slope. Unlike the SD40-2 and GP38-2, the AC4400CW is rather unique in its expansive windscreen and modern integrated function display screens. A pair of DB442 Talent 2 EMUs gather speed upon departure from that one Hobbahnhof, something like that, isn't it? Hobbahnhof or something like that, they just say, I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, unlike the IC, which races non-stop along the line to Cologne, the regional express services features of 442's operation demand a more frequent stopping pattern. Precision is key in order not to hold up passengers waiting for a train to the city. Switching operations are plenty. Wait for those who can't board the GP38-2. Learn the ins and outs of Cumberland Yard as you deliver and retrieve cars to and from the mainline trains. Bring cars into service and refuel in preparation for more duties later on in the day. Look out for more news on Train Sim World 2. So, normally at this point we'd have a look at the screenshots and then I'll show you the full size ones. Unfortunately, this week, they seem to be very few and far between, the full-size screenshots. DTG generally put it on their Facebook page. They've not done that this week. Occasionally, if you can't find it on there, you'll find it on the Alan Thompson sim page. No, there's the old picture here and there, but nothing sort of really conclusive. So I think this week we'll just sort of zoom in on the article and we'll have a look. So yeah, like I say, like the same as pretty much every other time. I can't really say a lot about what we've got there. It'd be nice if all these buttons are clickable, and if these screens work. I would say that this one, you can actually click on them. Oh, I didn't know you could click on them. Oh, well, it's actually bigger like that. Anyway, yeah, no, I'd say that one's going to work, and relay the power and braking information. So that's good. Obviously, the dials are going to work and stuff. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure we'll find out in due course. Looks alright, very modernistic, very simplistic cab as well. We could do a thing a little further down, all the controls and stuff, but hey. We all know what this looks like. I think this is a GP40-2. I think this is 40-2. Like I say, we all know what that looks like, so we won't hang around too long for this. But if you haven't seen it on Xbox, then yeah, these are very nice, these CSX trains. They've got a lot of clickable buttons. I think there's like a few buttons on the back wall that are not clickable, and everything else you can interact with. The visors, the wipers, the other visors, the windows, all these little buttons here, everything, and I mean everything more or less, is clickable on the CSX locos. So you know these are good. They're good. That's the problem. Train Sim World, they set out to make it like this for everything. And then very quickly we saw it not become like this for everything. And apparently it's because, oh, it doesn't really matter about having every single switch simulated in the game, because you don't need to know what everyone does, and we don't need to set all that up because it takes so long. No, you promised us this, and you didn't give us this for everything. The 66 was about the most advanced thing we had after these. I mean, of course, you've got the reskin versions for the Union Pacific and the Canadian Railway and whatever you want to call them, but other than that, they're pretty sort of, in comparison, they're comparatively lame, let's be honest. They're basically TS Classic, and the whole point of TS World was to upgrade from what we had before. And for a lot of the stuff, it didn't do. So it's nice to see that this is, and I think they're keeping all the functionality and stuff in, because they're good. They really are good. Like I say, I don't drive them a lot, but they are good as what they are, sort of thing. They're very in-depth simulation with these locos. This 72 stock, sorry. Now, it's nice to see that they've actually included the interior of the shed. I mean, it's not a detailed interior. I can't see any overhead trolley leads, and I'm sure that actually has a pit road in there. But it's nice to see that you can actually use that shed rather than it being there. What might have been nice is if they had the dynamic roller shutters, because 99% of the time when you come along here, these shutters are down generally. So, but hey. At least you can actually go in there. They put limited clearance boards on, I see. That is an LU signal, which was something we were slightly concerned about as a community. Were they going to do the proper signalling? The answer to that is yes. Whether they've done all the signals remains to be seen, considering that somebody saw a mainline signal at Queen's Park. But obviously this is the exit to Queen's Park, so this is just as you go underground. And there's the one of the Watford DC line tracks. Nice that they've got a walkway there as well, so you can actually get from the station to the depot. It's good that they've put that in, because they could have just ignored that. It probably means you'll be able to walk down it as well, which is good. So if you could sort of spawn in service mode at Queen's Park, come down the station, walk off the end of the platform, down the end of the path, and then into the depot. That would be good. That would be good if you can do that. Something I'm slightly ashamed or slightly annoyed about is that these wires don't appear to be sort of moving about much along the length. They're pretty static. Now I can see that there's that this cable here, that's a bit loose, so that hangs a bit lower. A lot of them are pretty straight. Now I understand totally why it's not why it's not quite as dynamic as it should be. It's gonna be a very hard sort of. Well, I mean, technically it shouldn't be hard, but the way lofts work, it sort of loops, and there's a lot of technical sort of looping information that would be hard to get right if you make it loop, but it would be more hard to make it convincing. So I understand why they've got more or less straight cables, but if you ever look at cables along the underground, they're not straight. They're not all nicely, neatly, tightly pulled along. They're all over the place, generally. I mean, sure, you can get some that are reasonably straight, but, you know, for the entire length of the line to be like that, because that's obviously only going to be the only loft we get. The other thing is, that doesn't look quite packed enough to me. It looks like there's a lot of space between them, and there's not many wires, there's not many cables per hook, and it often looks quite busy, so we shall see. Maybe the tunnels are going to look different inside the tunnels, or the trunking in there. That'd be nice. What other bits? Oh yeah. So you got the Watford DC leading off there towards Euston. You can see they put the full rail in. I believe this full rail goes up to the next station. I can't remember what the station's called off the top of my head now, but I believe it goes that far, just in case they send the train the wrong way, so that they can send one of these up the end and then bring it back down the line that's over here, because the other line's over here. If you've never been to Queen's Park, you basically got a platform there, which I believe is 1. Platform 2 is the underground, 3 is the underground going out, and then 4 is the overground going out. And the track runs just behind that wall, and we sort of dive under it. Something people have noticed, the overhead lines on the West Coast Main Line aren't very satisfactory. And yes, I agree with that, because they are literally the models used in Great Western Express, sorry. And I am actually very surprised at DTG for this one. I'm shocked. That's the kind of thing that I would have thought DTG would actually have represented. Even if they didn't do every single gantry, I thought they might have changed the feel of the gantries, but they don't appear to. They've just left them as the Western ones and called it a day, basically. And, I mean, I honestly don't think the Western gantries are the greatest they've ever produced. I guess they're not bad in a way, but they're certainly not the greatest gantries they've ever produced, and they certainly don't fit the, oh yes, I'm reading it right now, and I'm making a video on it. Go away, emails. Oh, great. Apple TV. Lovely. Anyway, yeah. Where was I? So, yeah. The three return wire as well, that's always questioned me. I've always questioned that. Why is it 3 return wires? I've never seen that before. Now, it might be like that on the Western. I'm not a great sort of expert on the Western, but, you know. Anyway, looking in the cab. Yeah, we got that. It would be nice if that glowed. It would be nice if we got the green glow and then the destination written on there. Even if it was sort of linked into the destination blind, because I'm sure, no doubt, we'll be able to change the destination blind. If we can't, that would be a big thing, but I can't imagine they would not let us do that. What have we got? Off, auto, forward, into, reverse. Yeah, if you don't know, these trains were built with an auto function, but they was never installed. They've got no equipment which can actually use it. So you could put it in auto, but it wouldn't actually do anything. Same with all of the other trains of its time. 73 stock, I believe C stock had it. A stock might have even had it. But basically, if you put it in auto, nothing's going to happen. It was just in case they ever decided to fit automatic operation to these trains. Because obviously they were developing the technology around the same time as 67 stock, which were only 5 years before. And they're basically this designer train anyway, so, you know. There's lots of switches up here. It'd be nice to see which ones of them illuminate. Not illuminate, sorry, I'll clickable. And if that lights up, I think that lights up in real life. Deadman handle, I hope that goes up and down. It should do. Can't imagine they wouldn't make it go up and down. Wiper, that's interesting, actually. I've just noticed the wiper switch there, but I can't actually see a wiper on the windscreen. No, oh no, there it is. Sorry, no, that's me. Okay. Ignore me! I'm in my own little world. Just leave me alone. So, yeah. That's quite interesting. I've noticed that light as well. That looks a bit interesting. I'm not entirely sure about that head, but sure. Sure, whatever. Next train. We've seen this one. Another really detailed train. The 4400 CWAC train thing. You know what I'm talking about. This train here. I'm not an expert on the American ones, so... And then the DB2. Again, this is a train we already have in Train Sim World. It's nice to see it again, especially in a different livery. So that'd be good. You can pretty much go, like I said, go and play Rapid Transit if you have it, and you can find out what this train's going to drive and how it's going to feel and all that. And again, another one. This, to be honest, this 38 is basically the same as the 40. They're pretty much the same train, to be honest. So, but yeah, again, they're nice. The interesting thing I've noticed is that Sandpatch Grade has 3 trains. The German route has 2 trains. The Underground has 1 train. Now, of course, the Underground doesn't need more than 1 train, because only 1 type of train runs on it. But at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm being scammed in a... Well, not scammed, literally. I don't mean it literally, but you know what I mean, hey? You know, why do they get more than we get, sort of thing? In a sense, if you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on from that. Yeah, it looks quite nice. Again, could definitely do with some more weathering in the cab. Peeled paintwork and all that kind of stuff, but... Yeah, overall, looks nice. Yeah, not a lot else to say, apart from the fact that I noticed that full frail there is slightly questionable, the way that comes to an end, but yeah, okay. Maybe, hopefully they'll see that and fix it. Fingers crossed, DCG, if you're watching this, please fix your full frail, thank you. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it'd be nice to see what they do with the tunnels and stuff, the tube tunnels. I can see a few not Kuju, but they're from the DGG library, them buildings, definitely. I've used them plenty of times. They're in Train Sims Classic. Considering they said they would never use an asset that came out of Train Sim World, and they got there, and I'm pretty sure that junction box is probably a Train Sim Classic asset, and of course you've got the van, and you've got various other objects that are in it, especially Great Western Express. There are the old objects in Sandpatch Grade, but generally, Great Western Express, I would say a good sort of 25-30% of the models were actually reused from Train Simulator, despite the fact they said, we're not going to do that. But yeah, anyway guys, I'm going to leave that there. I've spoken way too much about a couple of stupid screenshots, so yeah. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!